Hi everyone, back again, this time to fix the faulty hood switch on my SLK55 R171 model from 2005. You can see I actually have the switch, genuine Mercedes part. That's the actual reference number if you need it. Here's the switch assembly. Now I used a 10mm socket to loosen it up. And I like these Pittsburgh Pro sockets because they're actually color coded. So different colors for different sizes. Put that down one side. And so I'll just loosen these things off. In my bucket. Let's see what we find under here. So it's actually attached to the cable pull, as you'd expect. So I'm just going to, oh, and you can see that the switch that I'm going to replace is clearly not in the best of shape down there in the guts of the chassis. So see, there's a pin. That all looks okay. That's fine. But the switch itself is completely shot. And it will come out to this wire over here, which is what I disconnected earlier to get the wipers to work, because I had that particular problem. So you can see I've just slipped it in here. Using one hand here. Don't have a camera person at all. I'm literally just going to pull it straight out. And really, there's not much more to it. You can see that's roughly what I'm going to replace it with. So I'll put that to one side, unpack this, and go to part 2 of the video in just a minute. And here you'll see the parts before I put the new one on the vehicle. You can see that the old version has had significant loss of conduit and cabling. See, this is all nicely covered up. Looks very fresh. This is completely fallen apart and it's just decaying, and it is not in very good shape at all. So definitely time to replace that. So here's the actual switch itself. That's not quite connected to the actual hood latch, but you can see there are some lugs. So it has to be facing, there's only one way it can face, and the distance of this, the travel of the wire loom doesn't go very far. So it's going to have to make its way down that way. But you can see that this is the way the lug should face, and that is going to clip in a second. I don't know why there's this little zip tie there. Maybe that was there for some fit purposes, so I think I'm going to cut that off. And I think I'll probably thread this first, just to make my life easier. Just going to have a play around with that, and I'll come back to you. Okay, she's clipped in, so it isn't just the two lugs here that need to clip. There's this central little, almost a sort of another lug, but a spring, and that has to get underneath this little hood, and it gives it a very firm fit. So it takes a little bit of, you need really to push that on. I think they've done that so that it definitely doesn't come out through vibration. So there's two bits to worry about: these two lugs, and then this central little loop. So just being gentle with it is all you need. Just be careful with this end of your of this particular latch, in that it could scratch your car, and putting it into this little hole here sort of prevents you from doing any damage. So next tip is the fact that I have already on my car the mounting piece, which is actually right there. and it seems pretty solid and robust. But the switch from the factory comes with that mounted in one piece together. And I've never done this before, and found that there's a little lug there which actually only moves in one direction. So the answer to that is to get a flat blade screwdriver in under the lip of it as you're looking at it from this direction and go left to right. Sorry, right to left from this angle, or if you turned it this way, upwards, with your little flat blade, push it up, and this slides just straight off. Okay, so now I have the end of the switch out through these holes, which you feed up through here, and you need children-sized fingers to actually do anything. I could barely get my pinky in there, and I can't really get my other fingers in there at all. So why they couldn't have drilled these a little bit bigger is beyond me. I was initially thinking that it was really ingenious of them to drill the holes, then I found that they were so small, and I don't have particularly large hands, so that was a little bit tricky. It took longer than I expected. So now I'm going to slide it onto there, clip it into the switch, and I'm going to turn the ignition on and see if it says that the hood is open. Okay, so strange situation here. When I have the hood open and I start the car, nothing shows as a malfunction, and yet the wipers will not work because the hood's open. If I close the hood, the wipers will work again. So the only error I'm not getting is that the hood is open, but the functionality is working as expected. If hood is open, wipers shouldn't work. If hood is closed, wipers should work. But if the hood is open, there should be an alert. I'm not getting it. Not sure why. I'm going to check with my local mechanic to see if there's some sort of reset that's necessary. Okay everybody, so I've worked out what the problem is with the hood switch. There isn't actually a problem, it's more about what is the circumstances that will cause it to send you the alert. And if you're crawling at very small amount of miles an hour, you will not get an alert. But as soon as you start to pick up a bit of speed, there she comes, the actual hood switch alert is telling you that something is wrong. Therefore the switch actually works, you come to a stop and the alert goes away. But if we start to pick up a bit of speed again, you'll see that the hood alert comes on. So it's functioning as expected, but it does have a minimum speed threshold to get it to operate. So that's it. Hood switch has been replaced and installed, and it's all working properly.